Okay, here's the second part. Most of these are just going to be examples that I'm going to do with you. Feel free to just kind of listen into the box method if you like slide and divide or vice versa, because I still want to show both ways until you decide which way you want to do. All right, so the box method for this, first of all, you always look for the GCF. There is no GCF here, but there is one coming up. So there's no GCF, so we are finding the factors. After you put 5x squared and 10 in the box, you're finding the factors of 50, and you're looking for the ones that add to 27. And there they are. So when we start with our box, I always put 5x squared in first, then I put the 10 in, but they're going to put the factors 2 and 25 in. All right, then we find the GCF of the rows and the columns. The GCF of the rows and the columns. And then this is your binomial to your binomial times your binomial. If you wanted to do slide and divide, okay, it's similar. You're going to take the 5 and slide it to the 10, and you get the number 50. All right, this is slide and divide. So you get the number 50. You take your two sets of parentheses, and you put your x's in, you put your signs in, they're both positive, and you find the factors of 50 that add to be 27, and it's 2 and 25. And then you divide these numbers by the number that you slid. We slid 5. Okay, 2/5 is simplified. All right, we put the denominator in front. 5x plus 2, and 25 divided by 5 is 5, so the other factor is x plus 5. Oops, which is what we got right here. 5x plus 2 and x plus 5. Okay. All right, class example number 3. 3x squared plus 24x plus 5. Is there a GCF here? Well, they don't all have a variable, but 3 goes into 24, and I'm pretty sure 3 goes into 45. 15 times. This is where it's going to get tricky for us. You always want to look for a GCF first, because watch how easy this problem becomes. Pull out the GCF. We just divided each term by 3 to get what's in the middle. Raise your hand if you're not sure how we got x squared plus 8x plus 15. All right, we're looking for the factors of 15 that add to be 8. Not those. There they are. So you start your answer with a 3, and then your two sets, your binomial and your binomial. Remember, we don't have to do slide and divide here. Okay, it's like what we did last week. X plus 3 and x plus 5. This is the final answer. That's called factoring completely. This is where you have to pull out a GCF first and then factor what's in the parentheses. This is the two binomials are right there for that trinomial. See how we're combining what we've done the last probably 2 weeks now. So always look for a GCF to make your trinomial smaller. Always do that from now on. All right. Example, I guess this is your example 1. I'm going to do these with you, but if you want to hit pause and try to get the answer first and just skim through, you can do that. And if you get it wrong, you can listen to the instructions for it. So there was no GCF. You notice that. So slide and divide way or the box method, you're still finding the factors of 12 that add to be 7. And there they are. All right, the box, you put the first term in the first box, the last term in the last box. You fill in your factors with an x, 3x and 4x. and then you find the GCF of the rows and the columns, and the signs are going to be the same as they were last week. If it ends in a positive, they're the same. Whatever is in the middle is what they both are. Now I want to show you the slide and divide way. You slide the 2 to the 6 and you get a 12. This is our area. All right, we get 12. So you take your 2 sets of parentheses and you have x plus, because you're looking for the factors that add to 7, x plus 4 and x plus 3. You divide by the number you slid. All right, x plus 4 divided by 2 simplifies to x plus 2. There's that one. And 3 halves is simplified, but it's not even, so the 2 goes in front, plus 3. And there's the other one. That was the slide and divide way. All right. Student example 2. Look for a GCF. 6 doesn't go in the 7, 2, 3, nope. There is no GCF here. So we multiply 7 times 6 to get 42. If you're doing the box, where are the factors that add to be 18? Oh, so there were no factors that added to be 18. So 7 times 6, if you were doing slide and divide, 7 times 6 is 42. You're looking for the factors that add to be 18. There's all the factors of 42, and nothing adds to be 18. Therefore, if nothing works, it's prime. So example 2 was prime. All right, and the last example, you guys, the last example, and then you guys are going to practice this. Oh, 6 and 7 was the last one. All right, student example 3. Look and see if there's a GCF. 8 is the smallest number. 8 doesn't go in 21 and 10. 4 doesn't go in 21 and 10. 2 does not go in, and they don't all have an x, so there is no GCF. The box way, you put 8x squared in the first. 10 goes in the last box. You're finding the factors of 80 that add to 21. There they are. Again, we fill out our box. Remember, the first term goes in the first box, the last term in the last box, and then you put your factors in with an x, okay? And then GCFs of the rows and the columns. GCF of the rows and the columns. So let's see. If you did slide and divide, you slid 8 to the 10, and you got 80. All right, so here's 80. You're finding the factors of 80 that add to 21. Our third term is positive, middle's negative, so they're both minus. The factors of 80 that add to 21 are 5 and 16. What's the number we slid? We slid 8, so we're dividing this by 8 and this by 8. All right, 5/8 is simplified, and it doesn't divide evenly, so my answer is going to be 8x minus 5, and that's that one. And 16 divided by 8 is 2, so this is x minus 2, which is that one. Again, you either do box or slide and divide. In the little red box here, I did slide and divide. It's what you feel more comfortable with. Now, if we have time in class today, you're going to practice this. If not, we are going to practice this actually the rest of the week. So make sure you understand this. Feel free to listen to this video or the other video again. I realize it's a lot. It's about 25 minutes, but this is probably the hardest factoring that we're going to be doing. All right, good luck.